Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of Arena STL here on Thursday. Sorry I wasn't being able to come here on last Tuesday where the show usually have, but unfortunately was feeling a little bit under the weather. We're turning from spring to summer, and boy, allergies affect you in one way, sort of another. Well, let's get on to start here with the Week 5 of the Arena Football League. First, we have here what was another interesting part with replacement players. Those you remember earlier in the Arena Football League that there was with the Philadelphia Soul that after some turmoil and stuff, of course, remember the head coach resigned and they played with the replacement players in week 1 with the Dallas Hawks of AAL2, which we will actually mention them a little bit later here in the show as well. And that happened again here with the Rapid City Marshals versus the Washington Wolfpack game last Thursday. And apparently Washington Wolfpack organization had to apologize afterwards because they were actually saying the names of the actual players due to the fact that they were not the players that they announced during the game. And if you saw the game, you could tell these were replacements. They had the jerseys, but if you saw the helmets, they were supposed to have that unique decal, kind of like the logo here of what I'm wearing on the cap this evening. They didn't have that on the helmets, and boy, I'll tell you one thing: the replacement players here for the Rapid City Marshals, or the Rapid City Marshals, there at the moment, they actually played good at the start, but how it usually happens, once they kind of get the rhythm with the Washington Wolfpack against these replacement players, it was not a contest. It was not. And it ended with the Washington Wolfpack being the Rapid City Marshals 76-20. And short after that game, because there was a Thursday game, Friday game, then Saturday and Sunday games, and then right after, the Rapid City Marshals, because since they played mostly just replacement players here. Hold on here. My computer is freezing up. They came out with a statement here. Here we go. May 24th, 2024. The Rapid City Marshals regretfully announced the ceasing of operations effective immediately. This decision stems from a lack of leadership from previous Arena Football League officials and their unfulfilled promises rendering it impossible for the team to sustain its operations. The difficult choice follows a recent incident where players refused to take the field and subsequent last-minute game cancellation and rolling trust between the players and the organization. That happened last week, if you guys remember. Coupled with amount of financial obligations, this has become an unsurmountable obstacle, leaving the Rapid City Marshals with no viable alternative but to cease operations. Wes Johnson, co-owner of the Rapid City Marshals, expressed deep concern over the situation, stating, "We understand the struggles and the frustration our players have faced with us and with the league. As an ownership group, we feel that the league put us in a terrible position. We hoped we'd be able to find a way to survive, but unfortunately, that is not the case." Reflecting on the team's journey, Johnson added, "My sister and I invested in this team out of deep love for football and desire to build a lasting legacy here. We believe that joining the AFL would be a great opportunity for our team, this community, and Arena football for many years to come. We are devastated to find ourselves in this position. The decision to cease operation affects not only the team, but also its fans, sponsors, and the wider community. The Rapid City Marshals extend their heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has supported the team throughout its journey." Johnson further expressed appreciation, saying, "There are numerous individuals and companies in this town who stepped up and supported us through sponsorship, trade agreements, you name it. This community has been good to us, and even in our struggles, they were here to lend a hand. We can't thank them enough for their patience and understanding. Regarding ticket reimbursements, the Monument will handle refunds." That's the name of the stadium. "The Monument will handle refunds for the games not played. Credit card payments will be automatically refunded within 7 to 10 days. For cash or other payment methods, checks will be mailed to the address associated with the ticket account." So now with this, so far with the season of the Arena Football League, we already had a few teams cease operations. Of course, this is the second one with private ownership that weren't owned by the league. already before it was the Iowa Rampage, which had some questionable finances as it seems. But this one was a little bit surprising because, as I said before, they put out a good game environment. They were the only team with interesting turf. That, of course, was the red turf. A very long halftime show. Entertainment. It was a concert with a country singer. But it was just so it's disappointing that this happened because remember, the Rapid City Marshals were one of a few of the champion indoor football league teams that merged along with the 3 Kansas teams. And you also have to wonder because were there other problems with those that caused them to cease operations? Could they come back? Could they not? I don't know. This seemed like a functional organization and had a lot of promise. Even though technically it was a few days ago, it would have been 2 years since the last time they had a victory in the franchise. Once again, 2 years. And this caused a little bit of a problem. Heck, the local news actually that talked about the ceasing operation with the Rapid City Marshals actually was able to, and I got clips of it about the whole deal with the Rapid City Marshals, and then I'll also asking Chris, that's the guy with the G1 Sports that owns the trademarks and licensing of the AFL, the logo and such. And we talked about him and Jeff Fisher had that press conference on the Arena Football League podcast, and he wanted to expand the whole stuff with going through all the Lee Hutton stuff, and I have the clip here, so give me one moment here.
What were your first impressions of former league commissioner Lee Hutton when you first met him in Las Vegas to kick off AFL 3.0?
The way it was framed to me was, Lee Hutton coming in as commissioner and, him partnered with Travell Gaines, they were going to take the whole thing and just build this whole thing out. Everything from media to sponsorships to team owners, everything down the line, turnkey. As an investor, this sounds good to me, right? Hey, it doesn't sound like I have to operate. So, we worked through that for, very, very, very closely for, 5-6 months.
Why did you take a backseat after buying the AFL trademarks?
The guys in the U.S. side are going to take it from here. We have a change in direction, change in vision, and I didn't have any plans to move to the States. I accepted an early buyout, right? Like I said, if my group is not wanted or not needed here, then if they don't see the value, then we're not here to try to convince anybody of our value. I took a backseat, and I let them go with it. We've sent cease and desist. We've sent all kinds of legal communications. We've brought several firms on board to put a stop to this. And then when the writing was on the wall and the existing team owners and leadership all collectively decided that, we needed a change, that's when I got in touch, or that's when Jeff Fisher got in touch with me, and then we were able to start connecting the dots.
What were the logistics of Jeff Fisher taking over as commissioner, despite the AFL bylaws saying owners couldn't vote commissioners out of office?
Since you screwed up the second contract back in January 20th when we signed it, and they said that they were going to pay us in 48 hours and didn't, because they did that to us in July of last year, they've already breached the contract. So they've already, we've revoked the right to use the license immediately. So all these contracts and all these agreements that they've been putting in place have all been illegal. They're not on any sort of valid grounds. And he's lost his role as a commissioner a lot longer before that, because when he took over as an owner-operator on another shell to take the transferring of ownership of the marks, he's now stepped out of our purview as a commissioner in contractual agreement with G6 Sports because he's breached his contract.
So just to give a little bit more of a condensed version of that, they, as you know, because they kicked Lee Hutton out and brought Jeff Fisher back in to take over as commissioner of the Arena Football League, and as it turned out, both him and Travell Gaines did not. They signed a contract, but they never paid. With contract, here's the thing: you would think that just sign a contract. That is impromptu to be like, yes, we want this, but we have to pay for it first. It does not happen until you get money in hand for it to be transferred. So basically, he didn't pay for it, and that's one way they were able to kick Lee Hutton out, and legally they can, because if you didn't pay for the trademarks, what's the point? And then they put Jeff Fisher back in. And that's the one thing, if people know, like, if you have stuff like, franchisee, franchisor stuff, like, because they stepped in because they wanted to protect the brand. And Chris said he was like hands off, and most investors into a business, they are usually hands off unless it's like, if you've seen Shark Tank, usually they invest in business. Sometimes they're hands on, sometimes they're not. But it just depends on the situation. It just does. But it just happens. And in this type of situation, they had to step in order to protect their brand. They had to. Lee Hutton was not answering to anyone. Don't even get me started with his wife team, Minnesota Myth, and not paying their players, but yet able to have pyro at their event. That was kind of a befuddling type of thinking there, to be quite honest. And it's just like, you would think right after getting Jeff Fisher, then this thing happened with the Rapid City Marshals, because once again, the Champions Indoor Football League teams that merged with the Arena Football League had a contract that they were going to have money provided to payment for their players, food, travel, and stuff, and that just caused it to the foundation to go down. But once again, like with what happened with the Iowa Rampage a few weeks ago, I kind of have to question, were they actually solving as they said, even though, as it looked, because I commented on their game day experience that everything looked well, everything went well, even though my biggest critique was their halftime show just took way too long. Way too long. Give me a moment here. Then after that game, of course, we have the West Texas Desert Hawks versus the Albany Firebirds. This was probably the game of the week. This, and between Nashville and Orlando Pirates, but this was a come-from-behind victory for the Albany Firebirds. And for those that don't know the whole point system for Arena Football League, you got, of course, a touchdown, 6 points. Then you got the PAT, that's, of course, 1 point. Safety, 2 points. Then here's some of the things that happened in Arena Ball. You have the drop kick scenario for, instead of a regular PAT, that's actually 2 points. Then on kickoff, you're able to get 2 types of points. You have the kicker be able to kick it up through the uprights like a good field goal. They get 2 points, and the ball gets on the 5. Then, this how this game ended, because at the tail end, excuse me, Albany was down by 3 in order to tie it. They were able to score a field goal, tied with 46-46. Then, as I said before, the other way to score during the kickoff is what's known as the Rouge, which is basically tackling the returning player within the end zone, kind of like a touchback, but in this situation, will give them 1 point. And that happened. So they were able to have a 4-point session with that wave of happening and come back, and Albany beats West Texas, which has a chance to be what would be for the AFL championship at the Arena Bowl. And of course, as of right now, where is the Arena Bowl going to be played? Because originally it was going to be played in Minnesota, and that one, as of right now, the Minnesota Myth ceased operations. That, of course, once again, was Lee Hutton's wife team, Diane's, and that was just not working whatsoever. Oh, man. Now, we also had a kind of a forfeit type game, because originally the Oregon Black Bears was going to be like a team without a home base. They were mostly going to be a traveling team. They kind of had an okay thing with like a franchise thing, and they didn't travel. There was something, I'll get to that a little bit later, and it was a forfeit, 2-point thing. Southwest Kansas Storm gets a victory. I believe that's their only victory so far this season. So and I'll say this again, as of right, there were two teams that technically folded or ceased operations. That would be the Rapid City and Oregon Black Bears. Then you had what was not a close game whatsoever between the Salina Liberty. And why did my computer freeze up there? There we go. Salina Liberty and the Wichita Regulators. 54-25. Not much to say about this, just that Salina is proving out of all the Kansas teams, they're actually the best one out of the three. Then, of course, you have the other close game, the Nashville Cats and Orlando Predators. And that game also came close to the end as well, 69-62. And that Nashville Cats were able to score, and they tried a squid kick in the end, but Orlando Predators scored. I mean, they recovered, then they were able to score, basically giving the Nashville Cats another loss. Even though it's one of the best teams, I believe they will only have one to two victories right now. It's just quite amazing, like having these two good close games, and it's good for the league as well. And that game was on YouTube, I think. Another thing going forward, you usually have the games for Arena Football either on the Viry Network, and some are actually coming on YouTube. And so far, as of right now, one game is on the YouTube on the official Arena Football League YouTube channel. And so far, that's the only one, but there might be more. They could be using the Viry Network, but I haven't seen much of advertising for the Viry Network lately this week. Then, after the week, there was an announcement with the Arena Football League. They hired a new president and COO, Jared Widman. Has about 20 years of experience in business and stuff. I've been trying to find, like, his resume and stuff, but I can't seem to find it. So far, like, with the... Like, most of the articles are the one, like, including the one here on the Arena Insider. Right here, saying... AFL appointed Jared Widman as president and chief operating officer. Officials said he has nearly 20 years of executive experience with national corporations. And he's quoted here, "The challenge is welcome with open arms. I intend to attack it head on. This is a tremendous amount of work to be done, and I am honored with the faith and trust league ownership and Commissioner Jeff Fisher have placed in me. A series of major league-wide announcements will present new sponsors, events, and partnerships in the coming days and weeks. We are excited about what we plan to bring to the American public this season and beyond." Yeah, I'm hoping for that, because seriously, after what has been done with Lee Hutton, the bar is set so low right now. Just low. I'm not kidding. It's low. So anything just to raise it just a little bit would be fine right now. And then they also did the official announcements, like I said, the Oregon Black Bears and the Rapid City Marshals have ceased. Though there was a little bit of confusion that Humboldt, that's the ticketing partner for the AFL, they announced they made a fish out with a ticket partner for the Oregon Black Bears, but with the Black Bears logo, but that kind of confused some people. So even I don't know, like, why did they use the Oregon Black Bears logo when the team just ceased? So just to remind people, the 9 teams that are in the league right now is the Albany Firebirds, the Billings Outlaws, the Nashville Cats, Orlando Predators, the Salina Liberty, Southwest Kansas Storm, Washington Wolfpack, West Texas Daxterhawks, Wichita Regulators, and that's the 9. And then for week 6, we only have 3 games. We've gone down from 5 to 3, which 3 teams have byes, and there's only 1 game on a Saturday and 2 on one on Sunday, 2 on Saturday. Ugh. And Saturday games are 2:30 Albany at Nashville, 6 o'clock Billings at West Texas, and then Sunday at 1, Salina versus Southwest Kansas Storm. If I were doing picks right now, it would be like this. Albany over Nashville, even though it's at Nashville, but I see that as a close game. Then Billings at West Texas. That could go either way, to be quite honest. I don't know. I kind of like Billings take the upset over West Texas there. Then Salina versus Liberty versus the Southwest Kansas Storm. Salina, it's just obvious Salina's just too powerful. Like I said, out of the three Kansas teams, Salina is the best. We're going to take a little bit of break right now. Then we're going to talk about the Arena League. Here's a message from one of our new sponsors.
Houston, we've triumphed. I've made it back to Earth with the cargo intact. The game-changing, time-sensitive payload is none other than the revolutionary energy flavor we've all been waiting for. Introducing Merc Mayhem Cherry Limeade. Merc Clan played a crucial role in securing this energy flavor, and together we've unlocked the future of power. Merc Mayhem is not just a drink, it's a statement, a fusion of relentless energy and bold flavor. The secret is out. Merc Mayhem is set to redefine the energy landscape, leaving ordinary drinks in its cosmic dust. Get ready for a taste explosion that matches Merc Clan's unparalleled power. Join the revolution, and let's unleash Merc Mayhem upon the world. Astronaut M signing off.
Same great taste. Yes, same great taste. Same great taste.
Welcome back. Now we switch from the Arena Football League to the Arena League. Just a little bit refresher if you haven't seen before, this is what the Arena League is.
The Arena League's new innovations will push the boundaries of football. Key changes to traditional arena football will highlight our players' athleticism, create a faster pace of play, and provide a more exciting form of the game we all love. The Arena League will play on a traditional arena football field that is 50 yards long and 85 feet wide, enclosed by padded walls. 6 players will play on each side of the ball. There are no restrictions on defense. All players on the offensive side of the ball are eligible receivers, with 3 offensive players lining up in traditional guard, center, guard formation. The only other restriction on offense is the player lined up in the quarterback position cannot advance past the line of scrimmage with the ball in his possession. This rule set will produce rosters that are more athletic and versatile. To create a more up-tempo game, the play clock will only be 20 seconds. No offensive huddles will be allowed unless a timeout is called. No more players walking around after a play is completed. This is fast and quick football. All players and coaches will communicate with helmet communication systems. Fans will be able to listen in real time to player and coach communications. The Arena League is giving kickers the boot. There will be no field goals or kickoffs. Teams will be forced to go for it on 4th down or surrender. Onside kicks will be replaced with onside conversions. Kickoffs will be replaced with QB throw-off. The Arena League will continue to innovate to give players new opportunities, to give fans new excitement.
And I actually have an example of that QB throw-off that they mentioned here at the Duluth game highlights here. Just one moment.
Here's the throw. Taken at the 2. Wenzel spins away from 1. Ahead to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, 35, down to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Terrence Wenzel. Here's
Yeah, and that actually scored a kickoff return for Duluth Harbor Monsters, and that player right there, Wenzel, was a former player for the Minnesota Myth. So he was able to get there, and he's a local player there. And let's start with the Duluth one here, and their first game. They actually played, once again, the former Week 1 Philadelphia Soul Dallas Hawks. Beat them 86-34. And here's actually a little bit of reporting from the Duluth local sports channel here. Hold on.
And welcome back. It's not often you get to cover a brand new professional sports league, but tonight was the grand debut of the Duluth Harbor Monsters arena football team over at the Deck. And fans got to meet the mascot of the Monsters, named the Monster. But then they got to see the main event as Duluth saw their team in pads and those sweet blue jerseys for the first time ever. And those Harbor Monsters got right to work. The first possession, and quarterback Javante Johnson connects with Savion Johnson. Mark it down as the first touchdown in Harbor Monsters history. And the cool thing about arena football is, yeah, you can celebrate with your coach on the field, and then you can lean over and give some fans some love as well. And arena football is sold as a fast-paced, high-scoring affair, and fans were treated to that tonight. DeJounte Sky with the 40-yard touchdown grab. And there were plenty of points tonight to go around. And arena football also has hockey boards. Johnson this time finding Malik Davison, who tumbles over them like a WWE wrestler. But he makes the catch, and that certainly counts as a touchdown. A great night at the Deck as the Harbor Monsters win their first ever game by a score of 86-34. The start of official league play begins on June 1st when the Monsters head out to Kansas City to take on the Goats.
And from those huddles, as you can see, with the arena league, it's a lot fast paced. The quarterback is the only one in the backfield since they took away a wide receiver and the running back basically in this situation. And it's a lot fast paced, and it looks a lot of fun with those highlights here. Then the second one, preseason game, was, of course, with the Iowa Woo and the Minneapolis Warriors, if I remember. I have to double check that. And they had a good attendance of over 2,300. And remember, the Arena League is setting up in mid-markets, like not really big ones. Like I said, Waterloo, Iowa for the Iowa team, Duluth, Minnesota for the Harbor Monsters, Ozark Lunkers, Springfield, Missouri. Though technically you've got the Kansas City team, which would you really count that as a mid-market right now? Though the Arena League is headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri right now. And so far with the preseason, it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, as it's all there, they did not actually broadcast the games for the preseason. And there was like a little bit of a note here. I have it here. Computer's acting slow, and I apologize for that, guys. Here we go. And basically, it was saying that we, unfortunately, during non-league games, they aren't able to broadcast, and they are searching a way to broadcast their games and also do it locally as well. And that's actually the good news. Like a lot of the arena leagues right now, of course, you know, with the Indoor Football League, National Arena League, a lot of their games are going to be on YouTube. They have their own YouTube channel which is, search it on YouTube, The Arena League, or at The Arena League, and subscribe there to be able to watch. There's only four teams with the Arena League, so they're only going to have basically at most 2 games each week. And with that one, it's Duluth at Kansas City, and then Waterloo at Springfield. So both teams are playing in our state of Missouri, where I'm at here. I'm in St. Louis. And this is going to be interesting because both visiting teams have already played a game. They worked out a few of the kinks, if you will. Then again, both the Missouri teams have some game film on the team and be able to prepare more. So it's going to be interesting. Is that which is going to have more of the advantage, the away teams or the home teams? This is based, as I said before, Missouri versus everyone in this league for this one here. And the Ozark Lunkers, that's the team in Springfield called the Ozark Lunkers. They are actually going to have a special guest, Hall of Fame running back, former Cowboys running back Emmitt Smith at the game. So that's going to be quite interesting. And Kansas City, they signed actually a former Arena Football League from one of the Outer Rampage, and very good thrower and runner as well. So it's going to be interesting how this goes for week one. As I said, for both games are going to be on YouTube at the Arena League. Subscribe if you want to watch. It's a good thing to watch Saturday evening. And if I guess I could do some picks here. I'm going to go with Duluth over the Kansas City Goats, and I'm going to go with the Lunkers over the Waterloo Woo on there. And it's going to, like I said before, you got the 3 games Arena Football League and 2 games of the Arena League. And we're going to cover the Arena League a little bit here because it's interesting with the concept, and another concept that, if I have the right guys, of course it does with the officiating here. Let me put that up.
The football referee. Old, slow, and easily confused, they struggle to keep up with the more agile, fit players. Like many of Earth's more primitive creatures, they will soon be extinct.
Blown calls, slow games. Football leagues think it's still 1920. The Arena League is different. Only one official on the field to mark and set the ball and make penalty announcements. Sky judges watching live video feeds decide penalties in real time. Coaches and fans will have access to referee communications, and coaches will be allowed to communicate with officials in real time. Best of all, a public grading system to hold officials accountable for their performance after each game. Faster, fun, fair. The Arena League. Are you ready?
Yeah, so that's the one thing I want to see during the 2 games that are broadcasted on YouTube this Saturday evening. How does this deal with the officials work? Because as it shows in the video, there's only going to be 1 on the field. The rest are in the sky boxes, checking with the replay, the penalties, and such. And then, of course, the rating system. Hopefully this doesn't get abused, because I do like that the fans are able to grade the officials, but hopefully it doesn't get abused, because you know how some ratings are. Some people just put like 0 stars or 5 stars just for no reason at all. Then again, in the sports world, there finally was justice in the Major League Baseball this week that Angel Hernandez is retiring, and we no longer have to deal with his terrible calling of strikes anymore for us here as Major League Baseball fans. Thank you so much. Well, then, that's it for this edition of Arena STL. I'll be here next Tuesday back in our original time here discussing week 6 of Arena Football League and week 1 of the Arena League, and check out and do like an analysis of each game. Also, as I said before, how the new officiating system works. I may or may not have a guest, but it's going to be, like I said, it's exciting this weekend with the whole new Arena League stuff. And hopefully for the Arena Football League, there won't be another team ceasing operations. Hopefully not. Then again, anything could be surprising in the Arena Football world. Until next time.